A few years ago, I was reading an article about a leadership team attending an off-site retreat. During one of the sessions, a leader spoke up and said something that most of us have probably said at one point or another. I just don't have enough time. The facilitator stopped the conversation and responded with a statement that has stuck with me ever since. She said, "As a leader, not enough time is an excuse you must remove from your vocabulary." That statement, it kind of hit me like a brick. Because if we're honest, how many times have we said those exact words? I don't have enough time. I've been too busy. I'll get to it when things slow down. And yet, when has that ever happened? When has free time magically appeared? When has life tapped us on the shoulder and said, "Hey, good news. Everything is done. Here are 6 extra hours. Enjoy." It doesn't happen. Not for executives, not for business owners, not for parents or students, or for anyone. The reality is that effective people don't have more time than everyone else. They simply make different decisions about how they use it. We all get the same 24 hours every single day of our lives. The difference isn't the amount of time available. The difference is what gets prioritized. Years ago, I learned this lesson firsthand. I was working in an office where I supported multiple project managers. Like many people, I had a growing stack of work sitting on my desk every day. One day, my manager, my actual boss, walked over, and he handed me another assignment and said, "I need you to put this on top of your work pile." Now that sounds reasonable enough. After all, he is my boss. But I looked at him and said the following: "Just to be clear, putting this on top means something else moves down." And he looked back at me and said, "Yep, I understand." And I said, "I'm not sure you quite do." Because not everything in that pile belongs to you. There were tasks from other project managers, other deadlines, other commitments, and other priorities. So I explained, if this becomes number one, I need you to understand what you are pushing down the list. And to his credit, he did not get frustrated at me. He didn't demand that everything be done immediately. He didn't pretend that adding a new priority somehow created more hours in the day. Instead, he asked questions. We discussed the workload. He reviewed the competing priorities. And then he said, "You're right. This should move to the top, and I will talk to everyone else involved so they understand why." And that moment taught me something important. Great leaders don't simply assign priorities. They understand the cost of those priorities. Because every time something moves up, something else has to move down. And that's true in business, it's true in leadership, and it's true everywhere else in life. Every yes is also a no. Every commitment carries an opportunity cost. Every priority pushes something else lower on the list. And that's why "I don't have enough time" is often the wrong statement. A better one is the question, actually. What am I choosing not to prioritize? Because the truth is, we make time for what matters most. Think about it. If a family emergency happens, somehow the schedule changes. If an important client calls, somehow the schedule changes. And if a major opportunity appears out of nowhere, somehow the schedule changes. The hours did not increase, the priority did. The challenge for many of us is that we keep treating everything like it's a priority. But if everything is important, then nothing is important. Leadership requires deciding what matters most right now. Not what would be nice to accomplish, not what we think we should get done one day, not what looks productive, but what actually matters. The most effective leaders I've ever met aren't necessarily the smartest people in the room. They aren't always the most talented or even the most experienced, but they are exceptionally clear on priorities. They know what deserves their attention. They know what can wait. They know what can be delegated. And they know what should simply be removed from the list entirely. Because sometimes productivity isn't about doing more. It's actually about doing less of the wrong things. So here's my challenge for you today. Look at your to-do list. Look at your calendar. Look at the commitments that are pulling on your time and ask yourself a simple question. What is truly most important? Not urgent, not loud, not demanding, but important. And then ask a second question. What needs to move down the list on that priority list so something else can move up. Because success isn't built by finding more time. It's built by using the time you already have more intentionally. We all get 24 hours. The leaders who make the biggest impact aren't given extra hours. They simply make better decisions about how to spend them. So stop waiting for free time to magically arrive. It isn't coming. Instead, decide what matters most. Prioritize it, protect it, and watch what happens when your calendar finally reflects your values.